Welcome back to sgCarMart Reviews. Around the office, I am known as the biggest Tesla bull. So I have no idea why the producers decided that I should review this car today.
No sé lo que me está pasando. Siento que alguien me está llamando.
Do you know that if you trade in your car, you could be earning up to $5,000 less? Using sgCarMart Quotz, you'll get many dealers bidding for your car, ensuring you get the best price possible. And they are so confident in bringing you the best price to sell your car that if you find a better price outside, they will give you $100. Don't just take our word for it. Look at the hundreds of raving reviews of their service. To find out more, head on to quotz.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now back to the car review. For those of you who are still lost as to what car we are reviewing today, we are reviewing the Polestar 2, 100% electric. There are several variants available in Singapore. This one is the top of the line, long-range dual motor model. It has a 78 kWh battery, 20-inch wheels, and with very nice golden yellow Brembo brake calipers. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Polestar brand, you'll be wondering, hey, why does this car remind me of a Volvo? It even has the Volvo signature Thor's hammer headlights. Well, yes, because Polestar used to be the performance division of Volvo. Think of it as like AMG to Mercedes, M to BMW, then you have Polestar to Volvo. And the Polestar 2 is Polestar's first full electric vehicle. I like how this car looks. It feels as if Volvo knows that the petrol guzzling world needs a bit of help to transition into the EV new norm. So that's why they designed this car to look very, very car-like, unlike its closest competitor, the Tesla Model 3, which has no grille, which looks a little out of the ordinary for people familiar with petrol cars. But here you get a grille, although you don't really need a grille, but the grille houses the camera and probably a LiDAR in there. There's also fake vents here to give you the sense that this is like an ordinary car, but it's actually an EV. Yeah, all in all, I really like the design. It really eases you into the idea of driving an EV. The Polestar 2 Electric is priced from $217,000 to $259,000 for this long-range dual motor variant. The dual AC permanent magnet synchronous motor produces 402 brake horsepower and 660 Nm of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 in 4.7 seconds. The 78 kWh battery capacity provides a drive range of 480 km. For more details on the Polestar 2 or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. And hopping on the bandwagon of having the tail lamp go across the boot is the Polestar 2 as well, but I must say this one is rather stunning at night. And there's a 405-litre boot in here, and it took me quite some time to figure out how to open it. In fact, someone else had to open it for me. The button is actually down here. And you have a fully automatic tailgate. Revealing 405 litres of boot space, it can take in the anti-trolley and also a luggage, no problem at all. And it has this nice divider here to, segregate your barang-barang, and then there's a nice rubber strap here to hold some things in place. There are also tether hooks around, and the seats can be knocked down, although you have to do it from the back seat rather than here. There's also a ski hatch as well. And there's also additional storage under the boot floor. Yeah, the boot is pretty standard, I say. 405 litres for a car this size. Onto the back seat. In the back seat of the Polestar 2, I am 1.8 meters tall, and this is my comfortable driving position. I have enough knee room, enough foot space, but I'm almost touching the roof of the Polestar 2. So if you're 1.8 meters tall, just slouch a bit. The seats do feel slightly shorter. I wish it were maybe like 5 cm further out so that I have more thigh support. And the rear mirror here, well, it's long, but it's also quite short. So because of my height, I'm seeing a lot of the black lining here, so it can feel a little bit claustrophobic for me. For amenities, you have rear aircon vents, USB-C charging ports, and heated seats for the rear. So good if you are feeling cold in the back of the Polestar 2. There are also ISOFIX points. And for the middle passenger, even though this is a EV, most EVs don't have this middle transmission tunnel. But the Polestar 2, based on the XC40, carries over the hump from the XC40. For the middle passenger, as you can see, my head is hitting the roof. So you can't be the tallest in the car and sit in the middle seat, and your foot will be eating into the side passengers. But shouldn't be a problem for maybe a 5-10 minute car ride to lunch. Yes. All in all, I think the back seat, the seats are nice. It's just for someone taller, it might feel a little claustrophobic. Luckily, there's a huge moonroof, so it lets in a lot of light. Yes, to the front seat. In the cabin of the Polestar 2, this car is undoubtedly a Volvo because not only you see the very minimalist design, but this steering wheel is clearly a Volvo steering wheel that you get in the XC60, XC40. All the Volvo cars get this steering wheel. And when I talk about minimalist design, the competitor to this car is the Tesla Model 3. But for the Model 3, you feel like they strip out everything and leave it to the bare bones, and it's very Spartan. And you feel that they did it for keeping things simple. But for the Polestar 2, they did, also strip away a lot of things, but they did it with a design philosophy to keep it minimalist, simple, refined, and tasteful. And this car feels very tasteful and refined. There's soft touch materials, where it matters, where it counts. So this car feels luxurious. But as you move lower, there's a lot of plastic feeling, and actually even this wood-like panel insert here feels very plasticky. But visually, this car looks very pleasing. Everything is controlled via this tablet. Okay, most of the controls are controlled via this tablet, and it runs on Google's Android platform. So there are things that you don't usually find in other cars' infotainment system, like you can adjust icons and move it around. I like how it feels. And most importantly, there is integration with Google Assistant. So you can say things like, "Hey Google, take me to Changi Village."
Navigating to Changi Village Road.
See? It's very responsive now. And when the map is up here, if you feel that it is too distracting driving like that and looking down here, actually for the instrument cluster here, it also can display the map. One thing that I have to note is that while driving this car for a few days, unlike traditional cars where you have to get in and press and start an ignition button, there isn't an ignition button in here. In fact, the moment you unlock the door, you get in, you press the brake and you push the gear to drive, you can drive off. There's no need to switch on the car or turn on an engine. There's no engine. And when you are at your destination, you just put it to park, get out of the car and lock. Then the car will turn off itself after that. The thing about getting in the car and pushing drive and driving off straight away is that this tablet here takes some time to wake up, in the sense that I think there are a lot of background processes that all start up all at once. For example, "Hey Google, take me to Changi Village."
Showing results for Changi Village along your route.
Yeah, you see. And so if you get in the car, push to drive and drive off, and you say something like, "Take me to Changi Village," I would say 95% of the time that I've tried it, it didn't work because the computer here is trying very hard to make sure the other systems are all online first before it takes in my voice command. So this is something you need to take note of. The processor in here might not be the most powerful. Elsewhere in the car, you get this huge moonroof that has no shade, but there's some film that blocks out most of the UV light. This is also what the Tesla Model 3 did. I would say this gives the kids a great view out the car. Personally, for me, in Singapore with the intense sunshine, I wish that this didn't exist. But it's a nice view out and the sun is shining very brightly, and this thing does block out most of the UV light, but you can feel the heat radiating from the glass. And a nice touch here is there's a reflection of the Polestar logo on the roof, which is quite cool. You also get a wireless charging pad here for your phone, and some cup holder and another cup holder here. Julian and I in several videos have already said Volvo probably does the most comfortable car seats in the business. But for the Polestar 2, I do not like this one piece thingy because the headrest is not adjustable. So it took me a lot of adjustments to find a position that I can kind of drive in, but still this gives me a bit of neck and shoulder strain. And also the side bolsters here are a little not tall enough such that I cannot rest on it and drive, and I have to drive with my arms hanging out like that. Yeah, and you know, I can't rest my arms like that to drive. So yes, I'm quite lazy, so it can be a bit uncomfortable or a bit challenging to find the most comfortable driving position for you. That's it. Let's figure out how this thing drives. So what is it like driving the Polestar 2? Some performance figures. First, it is powered by a 78 kWh battery and powered by 2 electric motors that produces an equivalent of 402 brake horsepower, 660 Nm of torque. 0 to 100 is in 4.7 seconds. And what does that mean? This car is very quick. Let's just see. Yes, like my producer and my camera person, their heads slammed into the back of the seat because I didn't tell them when I was going to put the pedal to the metal, something that you need to pay attention to if you were driving this with your family. This car is very, very quick off the line, and is very responsive to the throttle. So for people who need that instantaneous torque and speed, you would enjoy the Polestar 2 long-range dual-motor variant. Handling wise, I would say this car, although it's based on the XC40, it is not, I don't think this is a crossover, this is more a fastback sedan, and it's very planted around the corners, so you can take corners very confidently without any body roll. That said, how the suspension is set up is, I think because this car is meant to go fast around the corners, it's very stable. But because of that, the ride is quite harsh. You feel a lot of the bumps, and coupled with the fact that this is a one pedal drive, that means when you lift off the brake, there's a lot of regenerative braking. You can switch that off, but even on the light regenerative braking setting, the brakes come on pretty strongly. So driving can be quite a jerky affair, especially if you're not used to how your foot kind of applies pressure or lets off pressure on the accelerator pedal. So it takes a lot of getting used to. And driving this thing for 2 days, I must say my neck muscle feels like it has had a workout because of all the speed and going back and forth, and also the fact that this headrest is not adjustable. But that said, there's adaptive cruise control and pilot assist. Let me just switch that on. Adaptive cruise control comes on with just a click of the button, and pilot assist helps keep you in the lane. You do still need to keep your hands on the wheel and provide a bit of steering input. If not, the pilot assist will warn you and shut down if you don't have any steering inputs. Adaptive cruise control and pilot assist makes cruising home very, very relaxing, albeit there is the bumpiness and jerkiness. But overall, I like this driver assistance feature. There's also blind spot monitoring on this very beautiful frameless side view mirror. Interesting thing is most side view mirrors, when you adjust it, it's the mirror that moves. But for the Polestar 2, the entire cluster moves. So you hope that when any motorcyclists, when they speed past you, they don't hit the side view mirror, because it's going to be a very expensive repair. Another thing that I really appreciate is the Android system, because when you put on Google Maps, input your destination, the instrument cluster has the entire Google Maps there, so it's actually very easy to use and live with. Yeah, I enjoy driving this car. In fact, you kind of forget that it's an EV once you're on the highway. It just feels like any other regular car. And for the 78 kilowatt hour battery, Polestar claims that this thing can do 480 kilometers. For me, when I was driving this car, I was getting about 19.4 kilowatts per 100 kilometers. So that actually translates to 400 kilometers. And driving this car around for 2 days, we went for lunch and the car was at 60%. We charged it from 60 to 90% in 35 minutes. So, I mean, you take about 1 minute plus per percent. So from a 0 to 90 charge is probably about 1.5 hours maybe. That's my guesstimation. So it's actually quite standard this type of charging. But the range is about 400 kilometers, which is not too shabby for an electric car. So there you have it. So as usual, we have will buy, won't buy, or go try the Polestar 2. For me, it is a go try, because the elephant in the room is a Tesla Model 3. If you compare, like for like, the Tesla Model 3, depending on which variant and depending on which Polestar variant you pick, the Tesla kinda is slightly cheaper and the range is slightly longer, and the autopilot on the Tesla Model 3 is definitely better than just the adaptive cruise control and pilot assist in the Polestar 2. But the Polestar 2 has a few things going for it. Its interior is way more refined. The design of it feels more... it feels like the Polestar 2 put in more effort making the interior feel more luxurious. And the fact that you can buy a Polestar 2 right now, unlike Teslas, in worldwide, some wait times for Teslas up to 12 months, whereas the Polestar 2 is available for you to buy right now. And I would say Volvo/Polestar has done a very good job in creating a car that is easy for people who are used to petrol cars to transition to, because there's not much of a learning curve when it comes to driving this car. So yes, I think this is a good introduction for people into the world of electric vehicles. And if you are, an auntie and uncle who is afraid of trying new technology, I think that this car, the only hurdle they have to cross is when they get in, they cannot find an ignition key hole or button. And that's it. The moment you learn how to put this thing into drive and press the accelerator pedal, it is very car-like and it's very easy to take to. So yes, please go try this car, because I think it's a good car. You just need to figure out whether you like to pay the slight premium over a Tesla for the interior and also not having to wait for the car. So that's my verdict for the Polestar 2. Do you agree or disagree with it? Let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. 80% of you watching, yes, 8 in 10 who are watching this video right now, who watch it regularly, don't subscribe to our channel. I don't know why, just subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, it lets you know when new videos are up, and you'll probably get more automotive content if you subscribe to us as well. So yes, also follow us on TikTok. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Do you know that if you 3, 2, 1 3, 2, 1 440. No, sorry.